Welcome everybody to Pod/Cast. I'm your host, Devin, with my co-host here.
I'm Seth. I wipe away from my balls.
Oh, fuck you. I was
Okay, I'm
gonna
sorry.
make the joke.
Tell him, Niall.
Where we wipe our ass the correct way.
We wipe our ass the right way.
Only a wave wipes allowed.
No standards in this chat.
What are you, a wiper?
Oh my
God.
No.
All right. Anyway, welcome to the Pod/Cast, where we talk about horror movies.
Yes, hi.
Yes, we do. Hello, everybody.
now that we've sufficiently shown how cringe we are, we should probably do some introducing of sorts.
Yes, I think we should. Yeah. Who wants to start?
I think our lovely Devin assistant should start.
All right. Okay. Well, I think a good way to introduce ourselves is because we're talking about horror movies. We might as well say our favorite horror movie. And I have an easy pick already. My favorite horror movie is The Thing.
Oh.
Not the new one, the old one. I like the old one a lot because,
which
practical
one? 'Cause
effects are
there's
cool.
The one from the 80s.
You know the
classic.
original one. Kurt
Okay.
Russell, you know that.
You never know. There might be that one person who's like, actually, the original is better.
I mean, the original one is from the 50s, and it's not better, but, it is technically
Okay,
the
I should
original.
specify. The one with Kurt Russell, that one's good.
The good one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Basically Among Us, the horror movie. Anyways, let's go.
Among Us? You see, the problem with asking me what my favorite horror movie is that I have so many horror movies that I do dearly enjoy.
Pick one.
Fuck.
You list the first ones to come to your head.
Shit. Friday the 13th, Part 6. How's that? Friday
There
the
we go,
13th, Part
perfect.
6.
Alright, why part 6 and not like part 4?
Well, because Part 6 is the best one. Like, I just...
That is a hot take. Alright, well, we'll get there when we get there. We'll eventually review that.
That's a cold take, and anyone who thinks it's a hot take is fucking wrong. Anyway.
Fair enough.
If you call that a hot take, you're the hot take.
All right, Niall, what's...
Yeah, well, what do you got now?
Well, see, I'm the odd man out. I'm the opposite problem, Seth, where Seth has watched too many. I haven't watched enough.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you've watched so little. What is your favorite one of that little group?
What was one I really liked? It was directed by Edgar Wright. Was Last Night in Soho.
That's your favorite horror movie?
I thought was so fucking good. I love the cinematography of that. The story was neat. I always love me some Matt Smith.
Fair enough. I have not seen that movie. Have you, Seth?
I actually have not seen Last Night.
I think we
so,
got it.
Maybe that's something we should
episode
review
one day.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe after the FNAF movie. Anyways,
I feel like we have a good spread of like horror movie and enjoyment because Niall hasn't watched very many at all. Devin has watched more than Niall, and I snort horror like it's cocaine, bro.
Yeah, that's all he watches. That is
when
it.
we put us together, we're a gradient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm in the middle. You're the least, and then Seth is obviously the most.
Hell yeah.
He's our boy that hooks us up with like the crack in the alleyway with the little horror movies right there.
I am in the salt mine.
Yeah, he shows us fucking Brain Damage basket case. He's like, here you go, check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Brain Damage and Basket Case. Now that's a
That
killer
is something
combo.
we're also gonna have to check out at some point. Both bangers. Niall's seen neither, so it'll be his initial impression for those.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But today actually we're probably gonna be talking a little bit about you might know this movie, maybe you will. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Even I know this movie.
Yeah, a little indie film, from the 70s.
We watched it together, like, 2 days ago? A day ago?
2 days ago now. Yeah, it's been a little
All
while.
right, and now Niall is going to tell us why degenerates like him belong on a cross.
Exactly, yes. So
we're going hot take
we're gonna throw
right
in
away.
right into the deep end here,
We're
folks.
going
Right?
right in.
We're
Fuck.
diving right into it because apparently,
Well, yeah, I didn't like this movie.
yeah,
I was not a fan.
weird choice.
Welcome to our horror movie podcast. One of our hosts hates one of the best horror movies of all time.
We're gonna get canceled in the first episode.
All right, you know what?
We're doing it.
I'm gonna out myself a little bit too here. I like Texas Chainsaw 2 way more than I like Texas Chainsaw 1.
I have not seen part 2, but honestly,
Dude.
I could maybe see Texas Chainsaw 1 not being as liked, because it is a little old, but it's too iconic to not like,
It's kind of not meant to be liked in a weird way because it's like a really it's a very message-heavy, political, scathing, like, grimy grindhouse.
Shit, really?
Oh, Niall, we could probably, if we really wanted to talk for an hour, I could sit here and tell you all of the, like, political... It's the obvious one is that it's very vegetarian because the whole thing is that the people get treated like they're cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, that is true.
I mean, personally, that message doesn't have very much effect on me. It's like, wouldn't it be fucked up if a person was treated like a cow? It's like, yeah, that would be fucked up. Imagine being lower on the food chain. That's really not my fucking problem. L plus lower on the food chain, bozo.
L plus vegan. Get that shit out of here. Ew.
Yeah, but then there's just all kinds of things, like how the reason that the movie starts with being like, this is based on a true story, when it definitely fucking isn't, is because the guys who made the movie, they were like, well, the government lied to us about Vietnam, so let's lie.
We can lie about the movies of
We can lie to everyone's faces right now.
And basically, at least every, like, 10 minutes, something like that pops up in the movie where you can be like, and this is a metaphor for...
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna, because, like, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's literally one of, like, the most well-known horror movies of all time. Go fucking find someone else to talk about it.
Exactly. This is a fun movie. It's not meant to be, like, super, like, you know, philosophical or have deep messages. We're here to talk about a cool slasher film with our boy, Leatherface.
Our boy, Leatherface.
Our boy.
Headcanon, Leatherface was just defending his home from home invaders.
Exactly.
The way every single person broke in.
I mean, they all broke in, yeah.
They all, especially the first guy, the way he's like running in, and I don't blame him for whacking with a hammer.
Yeah, that was Castle Doctrine. He just fucking like walked into this rural house in Texas. Like, I'm surprised he made it as far as he did.
Yeah.
I like to imagine he was listening to music, you know, he was doing his butchering job, and then some asshole walked up behind him and scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, shit!
Holding a hammer. Yeah, like, I mean, what do you expect?
Hell, even like later when he's like, oh.
I mean, obviously
distraught.
later it goes a little far when he's like...
Yeah, the hook one might not be
around.
A little, you know...
Hey, when they're in your home, who says I can't put a woman on a hook?
My God,
I am an American, and as an American, I can hook women all I want. Oh, God.
I have a God-given Second Amendment right to throw degenerates on hooks. Everyone.
No one is off the menu.
Dude, that's a good like hook line for a fucking Texas Chainsaw movie. No one is off the menu.
Shit, man, hire us, come on.
I'll be Leatherface. I look like Leatherface in no, I can't say that.
No, you don't.
I wear people's faces in real life. What if Leatherface took his mask off and he was just like an absolute bombshell hottie underneath? Like,
dude, I'd like to imagine he's got like a fucking strong jawline, butt chin, you know?
Yeah, he
looks like the Giga Chad guy, but just, you know, a little like, you know, a little more southern.
Southern
You're gonna
Giga
get
Chad.
me horny.
And he's like, oh my God.
Oh, God.
Alright, now that we've gone on that lovely little tangent, Niall, why didn't you like
Yes, that is a good question.
It's hard to explain. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I'll say that. I didn't think it was bad. I think it's just very much in its time. I think it's just the standard has grown so much since this movie, which came out like, what, 74, right?
I don't quote me on this, but I believe so.
I mean, we all have phones, so I'm gonna Google that.
we all have the internet! But, like, I know it was 70s, but, like, I think part of it was, it's one of the originals of, like, the don't do that, no kind of movies.
Yeah, 74.
I was right, fuck. Like, watching it now, it's like, the standard has gone so much up that most shit makes fun of what this was.
Well, you can't say that about a movie that's, like, specifically made for that time.
Yeah,
I feel like for its time, it's pretty good.
I feel a little unfair saying I don't like it, but I think part of it was...
You can't be forced to enjoy it, but at the same time you can't be like,
true,
this movie don't have Marvel CGI graphics, 2 out of 10.
There's no Thanos twerking on top of that barn over there.
Really
Get that shit out of here.
Time. And it's also a good example of what not to do when you are experiencing any sort of red flag about a person.
Yes, we wrote a list down, and it goes on for a long time.
Oh yeah, definitely has created a list of every red flag. But like just the beginning of it with the van with the weird guy that's all like it's a good picture kind of dude. It was like,
dude, it's no wonder in the 70s that serial killers were doing like fucking triple kills every single day.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
Like we went camping this summer and I drove past multiple hitchhikers. I didn't even fucking think twice about stopping. Like, they all looked like normal people. I didn't even like, do a double take for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like, Hannibal Lecter pretended to be a normal person and still ate people on the side. So, like, it literally could be anybody.
It's just a hobby,
so,
you know?
It's just a pastime.
It's just a pastime. We all have our thing. We all have our kinks.
We all have our kinks, like killing people with a chainsaw.
Well, yeah, I guess we do.
Oh, God. Maybe I should get killed by Leatherface to shut me up.
Yeah, where's that truck that hit him at the end of the movie?
Another thing I will say about the movie is, like, a lot of horror movies are like, why are all the characters so dumb? But if you actually think about it, they're, like, acting pretty normally. Like, a lot of the time, when you're watching...
Yeah, they're
a lot of the time when you're watching a horror
teenagers.
Movie, you have to remember that the characters themselves don't know that they're in a horror movie. So it's like, man, I haven't seen Todd all day. Like, you're like, oh my god, I would leave immediately because Todd's fucking dead. It's like, no!
And like, they didn't even assume anything horrible happened. They just thought
like,
he might be
they got
lost
going to the creek. Damn it.
Yeah. The only decisions that I thought were just flat out fucking stupid were how long they let that weird-ass guy in the van and breaking into the fucking house.
Dude, the second that they slowed down and saw that he had like a fucking blood stain on his face, I'd be like, nope, hit the gas. We're not doing this shit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm probably good.
He either did it to himself or is currently on the run.
That's the other thing too. When he started like grabbing people's knives too, I'd be like,
there were so many signs of like, all right, pull over now, and it's like they just kept not. They just were letting it be such a fucking creep. And like, I think it's really funny that they're like, final straw with him was the little fire he made, which...
Yeah, they freaked the shit out about that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't start a fire in a car, but if you're going to start a fire, at least start a fire like this guy did, where it was a pretty small one, and you had the foil to immediately put it out. He actually was pretty damn safe about the fire, and that's the thing that freaked them out.
Like gunpowder spark, and everyone in the fucking van lost
exactly, and he immediately
shit.
Like closed it up before it could get really bad. Like the one thing he was actually like being careful and safe about was the one like, oh my god!
Okay, wait, let's see if we can get like a little more. Let's get some context. Let's
bring it back.
All right, so the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, all right. We'll start from the beginning. We'll go through
the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, pretty easy. Dumb kids going on a road trip to basically go to an abandoned.
Because
their grandfather's house,
there's,
right?
Some fucking graveyard in Texas that has been having grave defilings.
Yes,
Yeah, so everyone, they're like all going to make sure that no one diddled their grandpa's corpse. So they roll by.
Oh my.
Can I just mention that fucking radio host went in such grim
detail?
The
opening.
Yeah, no, that radio host in the beginning was good.
Behind the opening credits, it's just this fucking, like, really serious guy who's just like, a man walked into a school today and he fucking blew up with a bomb on his chest. There was a flood.
Yeah. It was very grim, yeah.
Just under the whole opening scrawl, and then they like it's these it's 5 of them, right? Because there's the 3 Expendables, Sally, and fucking Franklin.
Yeah, there's 5.
The 3 Expendables.
There was the fucking Fred and Daphne ripoffs, the driver, and then the wheelchair guy and then the sister.
I literally can't even think of them looking a little bit different because they both just look like the most 70s dudes you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my god.
They're the white guys
really do,
with the perms, with the bell bottoms, and like the 70s like wacky button-up shirt, and they both look exactly fucking like that.
Got the hair and everything. It's so perfect.
And then there's there's the girl who's like, oh, it's Saturn's in retrograde. It's like, damn, I'm surprised you made it this far.
I'm surprised you made it so
surprised you weren't far. First. Saturn is in retrograde. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Basically, they drive past this cemetery. They're all on their road trip, and they're basically going by, and they see a hitchhiker on the side of the road, and this guy he
looks like Dracula.
He's got blood smeared all over his face.
That's what Franklin says.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Franklin's like, he
looks like Dracula.
Yeah, that's what they call him, Dracula.
To his face. To his face also reminds you. Okay,
yeah, and he's
this
like
is already
a weird, tweaky little guy that's like, oh, my brother used to work at the slaughterhouse.
They hit him with the sledgehammer.
It always takes more than one hit.
Yeah, what a winner.
Foreshadowing.
Good foreshadowing.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Chekhov's Psycho.
Chekhov's Psycho. Chekhov's Incel.
Oh no! That's just Hal from Megamind.
Oh, dude, we forgot to talk about... No, we didn't talk about one of the most important parts of the movie, where they stop for Franklin to get out of the van.
Shit,
he's
right.
pissing in a jug, and then he ends up rolling down the hill in his wheelchair after a truck drives by.
That was so tragic.
Honestly, just
God
like a
damn.
little tangent on the subject of Franklin, he's so fucking annoying, but at the same time, the whole universe
whiny.
dumps on him for the whole movie, so I can't...
I was gonna say, you gotta have some sympathy for the poor guy.
I was like, if I got like thrown down a hill while I was pissing, and I got attacked by a psycho with a knife.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm pissing Wiener out and then I start falling down a hill, I'm gonna be mad. Okay, that's just how it works.
Be a little mad, like not too.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I mean, he's also been like in a wheelchair since like they implied since he was like a little kid, right?
They'd never be like, yeah, he was born without legs or anything like that. So I'm assuming, I don't know.
Can I just say, I do actually kind of appreciate
something.
they didn't like waste time with like characters just talking about the
Franklin,
other
I
characters
remember
like that.
when you were young and you could walk,
agree,
and then you got hit by that stray city bus.
Remember that time you said this one thing? Like, no. I do appreciate the movie.
Yeah.
That's
didn't
good, but at
bother
the
with
same
any of
time, the
that
first
shit.
3 characters to die are so fucking forgettable.
That's true.
Honestly, yeah, I cannot tell you a single thing about them. The only thing I could tell you about any of them is the driver guy. The driver guy walked into the house like a fucking dumbass after seeing his friend's towels on the porch.
Yeah. This is the only one I can maybe be like, okay, I understand. Like, maybe he probably assumed they're just fucking in the house.
He had the most realistic reaction. He
ended up finding his friend,
to Leatherface.
He had the way he froze up wanting to run.
Nah, dude, he just turned around. He saw Leatherface coming out of
he got jump scared.
He fucking screamed like a little girl. That's the most realistic shit ever. If I saw a fucking
that was
Texas
pretty good.
beefcake, a Texas beefcake like Leatherface coming at me, sledge in hand, I'm fucking screaming too. I'm sorry. That's it.
I ain't moving a muscle. I'm gonna be frozen in fear.
No, honestly, I would flinch because he's already swinging his hammer by the time we see him. So he's like, oh, fuck.
Well, damn.
Brace for impact.
But yeah, we skipped over a bunch there, but basically, they run out of gas pretty much after they have their encounter
they need gas, so they
see blood on their van.
Oh shit, let's fuck. All right, I'm just gonna. Okay, sorry. They pick up that too.
Okay, hold on. We need to go back. Sorry,
they pick up the hitchhiker. He says a bunch of insano cocaine shit while he's driving along with them at the slaughterhouse. He takes a picture of Franklin, and Franklin's like, "Wow, this picture's shit." And the hitchhiker's like, "That's $2. That's $2." And then they refuse to pay him, so the hitchhiker takes out his knife. It's a good knife. It's a good knife. That's what he says. And he like cuts Franklin's arm.
I know.
Proceeds to cut
he cuts his own hand open, and then he also cuts Franklin's arm. And then they kick his ass out.
Well, he uses his own knife that he had like.
What was it?
It
was he cut his hand, took the photo. They said the photo was shit, and they wouldn't pay for it. Burns the photo. They freak out. He stabs the guy, and then they
kick him out. And he
him
smears
out.
a symbol on the side of their van as they're driving away from kicking him out.
Yep.
And then they go
pretty much. He marked them.
And then they need gas. I don't think they like run out of gas, but they're just like, man, we need more gas.
I think it's more they just need it to get home.
So they go to the gas station, which is a Coca-Cola and barbecue gas station with a man who is just obsessed with the sun. Yeah, in the background, like the fucking gas station attendant and his gigantic forehead. He just
God damn, you don't have to do him like that.
The whole time. He's like, "You guys see that really bright light up there?"
Oh yeah.
Do you think they could turn that thing off? It's hot as fucking balls.
What's that yellow ball doing up in
so
the
he's like sitting on his little gas attendant chair staring at the sun, and then they pull up and he starts like wiping their windshield or whatever as they're talking to the gas station owner, and he's still staring at the fucking sun. Like,
yeah, that one guy is just frozen.
He was still there at night too. He's staring at the moon too.
Headcanon, he was there and you just couldn't see him.
He just like burned a permanent hole in his retina, so he just was like, "Oh shit, why is there 2 moons?"
He's like Zim when he was staring at the sun.
There's 2 bright lights now. What the
Honestly,
fuck?
that's gonna be the thing. Since I've watched so many horror movies and Devin has watched some horror movies, is that we're gonna be looking in the background and being like, "What the fuck is that shit about?"
Yeah, we're gonna see some wacky shit in the background. Like, I cannot wait to get into some of this stuff. I'm not gonna spoil
I'm not
it for
gonna
the
call
viewers.
them little background details, just like little
it.
things that are in the background of movies that you're not even supposed to focus on.
No normal
so that's some of
person's
the
gonna
best
see.
shit ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all this shit, no regular viewer
so
is gonna
funny.
notice. Like, I'm the regular viewer that's not gonna notice that shit until you point it out.
Since they are low on gas, they're like, "Oh shit, I'll just stay at my grandpa's old house or whatever."
Yeah, pretty much. And don't forget this important detail. The guy at the gas station is like, "Yo, you guys want some barbecue?" And then they end up getting like some weird like meat sausages. It's not they don't tell us how it like, you know, how it tastes or anything that. But that's an important detail
I think
for
Franklin
later.
mentions like,
okay,
what kind of fucking meat is this or something like that. I think it's like in passing.
Yeah.
He says something. Yeah, he spits it out too later on because he thinks it's gross.
Yeah. He's like spitting it out a whole bunch.
They do teenager things. They go to the old person's house. They're like, "Oh, I used to live here," and then 2 of them are like,
"No,
yeah,
they're gonna go
fuck
swim
in the basin,
in the creek." And they're like, "Franklin, man who has been in a wheelchair his whole life. Where is the best place to swim nearby?"
Behind those 2 old sheds.
Oh, and also they totally left Franklin behind. The 2 couples, basically, they like all ran upstairs. He has to like struggle to get up in the house. He's like, "If I have any more fun today, I'm not gonna be able."
Oh yeah, he's like struggling the whole time. I'm having so much fun.
Well, yeah, he also finds like weird like bone, like, you know, like little bone art around as well.
Oh yeah, he's the one noticing some creepy signs throughout.
Well, yeah, he's the one noticing the red flags.
There's just like a pile of animal bones.
Yeah. There's a fucking dream catcher made of bones too hanging from the ceiling. Like, there's some weird shit going on. And obviously it's like a ruined house, so obviously it shouldn't be there.
I thought Grandma took all her art with her
like
when she left.
stuff that it wouldn't be there.
Yeah. And then the couple that like leaves and goes to the basin, they find out it's dried up. So they're like, "You know what we should do? Let's go explore." So they go walking around and then they see this house, all right? And this is something where I would just turn around and be like, "Nah, I'm good." Where there's a freaking tree with a shit ton of stuff like tied to it.
There's a pocket watch. There's like
what else was up there?
It was like a pocket watch with something
pocket
stabbed through it or something like that. It was just a bunch of shit hanging from a tree. And then there was also like they saw that behind the house there was like 8 fucking cars.
Yeah, that wasn't scary.
Yeah.
That wasn't the scary part.
If you go out in the middle of,
I mean, I think what that's implying is that people have gone missing, so they've taken the cars and hidden them there.
Yeah, if you go out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, people just when the car isn't good enough to like drive into town, it's just fucking dead and it just stays there. So you'll just have these cars. It's just there.
It just becomes a collector's item.
It's just gone.
Like if you go up on like little like mountain roads, way up in the mountains in between the towns and shit, you'll see all kinds of places where they just have like 10 cars just behind their house, just sitting around.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
Oh yeah.
And they go to talk to the people that live in this house because they have a generator going, so obviously they have gas.
And so like, they assume they have gasoline.
Gas.
Yeah.
We need some gas, shit, man.
Sure, man.
They knock on the door. Obviously, you know, they're like, "Oh, where is anyone home?"
Keep knocking.
And then
keep checking.
the fucking guy.
He ends up knocking it hard enough that it opens because he realizes the door is unlocked.
Well, yeah, you're forgetting a detail. He scares his girlfriend. He finds a tooth on the porch, and instead of freaking out,
he just puts it in her hand. He's like, "I got a gift for you."
I got a gift for you. Check this out.
I lost my first baby tooth.
And obviously she freaks out, and then she just goes sits on like the swings while he goes inside, and then doesn't wonder where he goes. He's just like, he just goes inside. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on here?" Anyone home?
To be fair, to be entirely fair, Leatherface is like standing around the corner in one of his rooms making like little pig noises. But at the same time, that's not a fucking reason to go to someone else's fucking house.
No, you do not go in the house.
No, dude, I could walk past a house and like hear like screaming from one of the open windows. And I'm not fucking turning my head once. That shit is not my business. That shit is none of my business.
No. Turning around, getting my ass out there.
Yeah, no, dude, that sounds like my favorite type of problem. not mine. Like,
not mine. I want that on a t-shirt.
Here we go, guys. Pod/cash.
That's gonna be
Pod/cast merch coming up right now.
We're gonna pull a guard of band and have like, hey, you want to buy our merch in the first episode?
Welcome to our shit first episode. We'll have a merch link before we even have the episode edited.
God, fucking guard of band with that merch bullshit.
All right, focus. We're not talking about the Garden of Band.
But I like him. But I like
bitch about this movie that you didn't like. What did you not like?
Shut the fuck up.
Were you like not feeling it yet? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm wondering. Yeah, what?
It's all this part. It was fine.
Like the boring part of the movie, you were fine with.
I mean, I was getting annoyed by the dumbass decisions they were making, but it was like.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, that's fair. I mean, but the thing is he walks into this room, right? Mm-hmm. He walks into this room. It's bright red, has bones on the wall. He can see that from the doorway. Yep. Walks in, he's like, I wonder what the fuck is back here. And then Leatherface smashes his head.
Well, yeah, because remember earlier in the movie, because the hitchhiker was like, sometimes you'd have to hit him with the sledgehammer 2 or 3 times or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And so he hits him twice, kills him, drags him away, puts him on the table. He's like, oh, well, here's some meat for dinner, fuck. And then his girlfriend's sitting outside still, right? He's gone for probably 15 minutes at this point. She's just swinging on there. She's
man, my boyfriend really just walked into that fucking house, and I heard this weird meaty slap, and I didn't question it at all. There's no way that boning someone in the head with a sledgehammer is a quiet process, right? Like, come on.
Well, yeah, the door was wide open. You don't forget the door was wide open.
It's an old country house in the 70s. You could probably hear everything that goes on in that house, even if the door wasn't open. Like, that's just not sealed good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is too is that she walks in after him. She's like, oh, I wonder where the fuck he goes. And so Leatherface closed the door to the red room.
Yeah, that's right.
To hide what he was doing. So she's like, oh, I guess I can't go back there. So she goes in the living room, and red flags everywhere.
She falls into the room, looks up while in whatever the hell it is on the floor, and sees just bones,
like rat shit,
a chicken, a cage, all this fucked shit, and it makes her start to gag.
The thing about their
human
living
bone
room
furniture.
is it's probably the part of the movie that is most closely actually based off a true story, because Ed Gein. Well, because Ed Gein.
Yeah, no, I feel like it is.
Rob graves and kill people, and he would make furniture and shit or clothes out of them. There are multiple horror movies where the villain is based off Ed Gein. Every other part of the movie is definitely not based off a true story, but the part where they make furniture out of
no. That was all original. Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten shit from us if they just said we loosely got inspired by some real things and had some fun with it.
Well, that doesn't sell. That doesn't sell now. You got to realize.
Funny stuff does it though, and I like when stuff is more honest about it, or it's like we.
Well, yeah, but dude. This is a horror movie with a handful of cash.
The government lied to them, so it's okay for them to lie to you.
The government lied to us. Why
they sent people to Nam. I'm gonna lie about my movie. I'm gonna send them.
I'm gonna send them to my movie. But yeah. So then she goes in. She freaks out. She's like, bone furniture. Oh my god. And then she.
This room was decorated by a Leo.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's right. It was the fucking horoscope girl. Oh my god.
This is a Leo room.
Her first line in the whole movie is literally something about Saturn being in retrograde.
We're really narrowing down what audience is.
Dude, I don't give a shit if a horoscope person listens to this. That's wrong. A room made of bone furniture would be a Scorpio thing. Those bastards.
Oh no.
Only a Taurus would do that.
Actually, it's a Taurus.
Yeah, so anyway.
I'm sorry.
I'm a vegetarian. Anyways, let's keep going.
Being in a room with such strong Libra energy. Then she tries running out, and then Leatherface comes out of the little room, and he's like, oh shit, there's a fucking another one, and he grabs her.
Exactly, he's like, another one?
He just yanks her. He's like, all right, what do I do with this one? And then he goes
after grabbing her
back in his red room, and he's like, I've seen Dead by Daylight. And throws her up on the hook.
Yeah, he throws her up on the meat hook while he
chops up the guy with the chainsaw. Yep. With the classic chainsaw. Which, can I just say, how the fuck did he get it on with
Leatherface
one pole?
Is a Chad?
He's strong. He is a strong boy.
We literally mentioned how Leatherface is a Giga Chad underneath the flesh mask, right? That's why he was able to do it.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's hot as fuck.
He's hot as balls underneath that. You know, he's got fucking.
Yeah,
he's a strong man. And he just yanked that shit in one go and it went right off.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, well,
I'm not justifying that with a response.
Hold on.
Anyway, honestly, I almost don't even remember what happens next.
Well, basically, he chops him
it's
up,
like
puts
this,
him in
it's
a
like
bucket.
the scary scene of her hanging on the meat hook while he's chopping her boyfriend up, and then and then it cuts back to the guy it comes back to the other guy that looks like his name is Captain 70s, and is like, damn, I better go find them or some shit.
He's like, they've been gone for a while. They probably got lost. I'll go
and
find them.
And you'll never guess what he does. He walks over. He sees that their towel is sitting on the front porch, and he goes, "That's probable cause to break and enter." He goes further than just walking into like the front room or whatever. He walks in, he goes into the red room, through the red room, into the kitchen, and then he finds the astrology bitch in the freezer, and then Leatherface jumps out and he just screams and then dies.
Well, hold on, you missed something. So the girl, she's basically dead, but she's still her body's still like there. So she spazzes out and comes out of the freezer, scares him.
That was a cool scene.
Leatherface stomps up behind him. He turns around, screams. He already got jump scared. He got wombo combo there. He got fucking 1-2 punched, and then the punch is a sledgehammer. So
if you guys opened up a freezer and like a bitch popped out of it, would you like freak out and jump away, or would you slam it? Because I feel like I would slam it on her. Cause
I don't know.
Oh shit!
I think maybe slam the door.
I would just dash away.
Obviously,
I would
never
walk
walk into such a fucked up creepy southern house.
Also true. Never would. For starters, I would knock on the door. If I don't get a response, I'd be like, oh, they're not home. I'm not going to go in.
Yeah, you don't just keep going like, hello. Like, after a few tries, like, okay,
hello.
Hello.
The animatronics get a bit quirky at night.
Leatherface does get a bit quirky at night.
I mean, he does. We find out later.
Where I come from, the houses that are out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, if you walk up to them and knock on the door, you're not going to find any scary, like, people or anyone who's going to, like, I'm going to shoot you if you don't get off my property. They're just going to be, like, zoinked out of their gourd on the most powerful weed known to man.
Yeah, probably.
This is a purely southern thing. This is Leatherface and his family are the most accurate southern representation I've ever seen in my life.
There goes our southern audience.
It's after Leatherface kills Captain 70s that he's then like goes to live.
Yeah, he sits down and he's like, son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, he's like, shit, that's 3.
He's probably just thinking like, why 3 people break into my home?
My freezer.
How dumb are these motherfuckers? How dumb are they?
Can't fit any more in there.
It's like, crap, please, no one break in, like, my damn door.
And then you know, it cuts back to the two of them. It's night by now, by the way, I should mention.
In the van with their fucking dicks in their hand for like 2 fucking hours.
Well, the other thing I should mention is that they somehow got the van to turn on, even though it's like
out of gas. No, because they don't.
The engine's like rolling. Yeah, the engine was on.
No, they don't have the keys.
They didn't have the keys, but that's what I was saying.
No, it wasn't.
The car was like
they were
literally
honking the horn, but it wasn't turned on. They had
the
a
light was on.
Oh.
No, that's what
I'm gaslighting myself. Sorry, guys. Anyways.
I gaslit myself into thinking that they magically turned the van on, because, like, yeah. And this is the part of the movie where Franklin is like the bitchiest bitch that ever bitched.
I know.
Yeah,
so great.
He holds the
He's
flashlight
like, don't
from the only person to walk out
It's like, motherfucker, I'm not rolling. Like, you don't have off-road tires on your wheelchair, motherfucker. Can you not wait 10 minutes for me to like go look at something? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's just like he goes with her. She pushes him, by the way.
He literally refuses to give her the flashlight unless he goes with her.
Yeah. So he's her little like car driving down with a little spotlight pointing down the road, and they're walking through deep woods. At this point, you can't really see what's going on, but I assume they were probably by the cars.
They were just in the fucking woods in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Basically, they're chilling there, and then he's like, what's that noise? And then Leatherface jumps out with a chainsaw.
Like, kind of hacks out his gut.
He gets the one cord rip again, by the way. He gets the first try on that bitch again and slices into Franklin.
I'm just going to say, Leatherface probably, if he was talking, would be like, I'm not letting you break in,
I'm not dealing with 2 more motherfuckers in my house.
Not again!
I know exactly where this is going. I'm stopping this now.
Wait, actually, I do have one question. What was he doing in the woods?
Well, because, remember...
I guess, yeah, so he's probably walking towards them, and it was just a coincidence.
Well, there's also that, but, like, here's a little spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen this super extremely famous horror movie from the 70s. The hitchhiker from the beginning is Leatherface's brother, and he marked the van that they were in.
Yeah,
so, like, they were definitely,
like... probably going towards the van.
They were planning on it. You know, it's actually revealed in the sequel that's their oldest brother, but that's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's their oldest brother?
That's not their dad? That feels like they originally implied.
I don't know.
I'd
have to read the script.
I feel like that was probably a retcon.
I mean, the sequel came out like 10 years later. So.
That had to have been like a retcon.
I mean, they had a while to be like...
That had to have been like a retcon that they thought just worked better, which is fine.
We'll talk about the second one when we get there.
I agree. Yeah, we'll get there. But basically...
when we get there.
Basically, Mr. Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out of the woods, cuts into Franklin. Franklin's like, oh, and then he dies.
You know, for a movie called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
they barely killed anyone.
Literally, only one person gets killed with a chainsaw.
5 people, not counting the brother, die.
I mean, let's be real though.
2 of them get hammered, 1 of them gets hooked, and one of them gets run over by a truck.
How many people? I'm gonna be put on a watch list for this.
It's not like an actual massacre. It's more like, the term for a massacre, where it's like the saying, where it's like, oh man, that was a massacre.
I mean, it's also just a really good name, especially
so
based on some of the other names they were going for.
Yeah.
One of the original names was Head Cheese, which is like, shut the fuck up.
I guess that was kind of part of the plot.
They do bring up the phrase head cheese.
They talk about head cheese, yeah, because it's like, it's like when you make, I can't remember what head cheese is. I don't even want to know. Don't even want to know. I would assume that a massacre would be like more than 5 people.
I was gonna say. I think literally is 5 people.
A massacre, I feel like, is definitely more than how many he killed in this movie.
You heard it here first, folks. A massacre is at least 5 people.
Don't quote us on that.
There we
go. quote me specifically on that.
Quote me.
How would you know, Seth? How would you know?
Seth, the serial killer.
Where were you on the night of January 4th?
Where were you on the bite of 87?
Where were you in the bite of 87?
Where was I in the bite of 87?
But pretty much. Does
that.
And
then Sally,
sister, final girl's running away.
Sally's running away. She runs into the murder house.
It goes in the house, goes upstairs into the creepy
she runs
grandpa
in the murder
room.
house. Leatherface starts cutting the door open. She runs into the creepy grandpa room with grandma's corpse. Leatherface gets to the door. She jumps out the window and she runs through the woods as Leatherface is chasing her. She gets to the gas station. And she runs inside of the gas station and it's like, oh, sit down, we'll call the police, blah, blah, blah. And then she starts fucking bugging out because, I mean, fair enough.
You got chased by a man with a chainsaw and saw.
Yeah, you remember how I mentioned the meat sausages earlier? Well, she looks over to her left and she sees human body parts getting grilled in there and turned into sausages. Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, Niall is like, I have plenty of experience with eating human sausages, so this doesn't bother me at all.
I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to the scene. I was just like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah, this is the part where Niall is like, all right, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. and then the guy comes back in and he's like, you sit still, Missy. And then she whips out a knife and she's like, fuck you, I'm not going down. And then he grabs a broom and just smacks it out of her hand.
Yeah, and then like for the next 10 minutes of the movie, he's just, like, beating her.
Oh, yeah, that's because he, like, ties her up, Yeah,
he puts her in a bag, he ties her up, he puts her in the truck.
Poking at her with the broom.
He's like, oh, don't you be scared now. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. And he just fucking poked her with the broom.
I want to make sure you're comfortable. Go fucking poking at her.
And then as he's driving back, we see the hitchhiker from the beginning. And this is the point where they're supposed to reveal that's the brother, but we spoiled that already. But basically...
We spoiled this movie that's older than most of the people I know.
Yeah, he's like, what the... Hey, man, I was doing that. And then we find out that the hitchhiker was responsible for the bodies at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he's the one who was defiling graves. He was the one who was diddling Grandpa's corpse. That's what he does.
We can call him the diddler from now on, okay? So the diddler gets his ass beat by his brother.
Yeah, and then he go to the house, and he's like, "Look what your brother did to the door."
When, like, the way he acts, or like beats him like an angry dad and shit. I think he was meant to be the dad. Can we just call him for this one movie? Can we call him the dad?
Well, no. Here's my game theory. And by game theory, my deep knowledge of how life works in the South. He's probably both. He's probably their brother and their dad, and I'm not explaining how that works, but I'm sure he can figure it out.
I mean, Leatherface, he's the sexiest man there, so he's not part of that group, okay?
Leatherface is so inbred that they picked his ass up in a bakery. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Their family tree is like a fucking straight line from beginning to end. Like...
Probably doesn't help with all the human meat they eat either. Jesus. They are just like
they're inbred. They have a prion disease. They're just fucked.
They are done for. If the end of the movie didn't happen, they were going to die within the next day.
They're just gonna die from one of the genetic diseases that you get from being an inbred.
Yeah, that driver guy had like herpes or something.
He had everything imaginable.
Eating people, there would be a chance that you would just like pick up an accidental STD.
You probably would, yeah.
Accidental STD would make such a good band name.
Yeah, they ate like a hooker one time, and now they're just like a fucking petri dish.
Oh my god. That's probably what Leatherface covers up. But anyways, basically,
he wants to cover his
we forgot
source.
to mention something earlier as well. Leatherface, while he was chasing Sally, fucks their door up.
Oh,
because he gets locked outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I like briefly. He like cut through the door.
He had to like use the chainsaw on the door, and
I actually don't even think he did. I don't think she locked the door behind her. I think Leatherface is just fucking dumb.
You know what? He probably is just that stupid.
I mean, he also needed to take out a little anger, you know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I had the opportunity to cut through a door with a chainsaw, I would.
She had to have locked it because the door opens into the inside of the house.
She did.
She must have.
I mean, if Leatherface was a Giga Chad like Jason Voorhees, he would have just fucking busted through the door like it. He wouldn't know. He would just walked right through.
He would walk through.
Yeah, no problem.
When we start watching Friday the 13th movies, that's what he does. They like shut the door behind him, and then he just fucking blasts through without opening it. It's wicked.
Yeah, I mean, he also teleports, but anyways. Basically, so they come back and they're like, "Yo, you fucked the door up," and then the brother starts beating the shit out of Leatherface.
Look what your brother did to your door! Yeah.
But also, we should mention Leatherface is wearing a woman's face right now. Oh, what the fuck? So, Seth, do you wipe with,
Do you wipe with your left hand or your right
hand? I personally do my right hand because I'm left-handed and I don't want to get poopy on that shit, you know what I mean?
How sloppy does this shit have to be before you decide to use extra toilet paper?
I use 3 sheets instead of 2.
Alright, anyways, I'm gonna grab another beer because I've been drinking one this whole time.
You didn't do that during the poop talk? Are you shitting me?
I can reach my mini fridge with my headset.
Oh wait, that's right.
on.
You can just like reach around the corner. Viewers, his layout is that it's his desk and his fridge. His fridge is behind him. Like there's a wall behind him, and the fridge is around that corner. So he just like wraps around the corner, grabs a beer, and gets back. I've seen his
room, but I like to have the headcanon that behind Seth is just a wall of alcohol.
Dude, I'm not rich enough for that. Alright, anyway. Oh yeah, Leatherface. Leatherface is wearing a woman mask. The thing about Leatherface was sort of the Sawyer family. I don't think they're called the Sawyer family until the second movie, but fuck it.
Fuck it, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family.
Get it? They're called the Sawyers because
we can say they're called the Sawyers. It's better than calling who was clearly their father their brother. Ugh.
It makes more sense in the second one. The second one's better. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, basically the idea was that they were like, like a nuclear family.
Yeah, they're fucked up.
Yeah, because like there's like the dad, and then there's like the annoying teenager, and then Leatherface is like the kid, but he also sort of takes on like the mom role when he puts on the woman face, because the whole thing about Leatherface is that he's like beaten into being whatever the family wants him to be. Yeah, whatever. Like I said, if you want to get into the symbolism of this movie, look at someone else, because I don't have 4 hours to sit here and be like, this sadly, burning takedown of industrial capitalism.
We would if we could, we just literally can't.
That sounds like content, boys.
I mean, we could, but like, there's so many fucking people who would do it more intelligently and before us. So like,
and also viewer retention would go down the drain very quickly.
Yeah, and I know everyone wants to sit here and hear me be like, the Industrial Revolution was a disaster for humanity.
What?
Well.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, so they grab Sally, they poke her with a broom, they take her back to the house, they tie her up, and now it's dinner time.
Yep, pretty much. Dinner! And are you guys ready? So this is the part of the movie that I feel like is the easiest to dislike.
Devin, we need to ask Niall, how is the movie up until this point?
Yeah. How do you feel?
You're like the oddity.
Weirdly,
you're the one who doesn't like the movie. Tell
but
me.
Fine. I mean, it was just kind of basic up until that.
Was it literally this last part that made you dislike it?
The last part. Can I just say it now?
What?
You know what it feels like? It feels like watching one of the less good VHS shorts where they had a lot of good ideas, but they didn't mesh well to me.
I don't know. It feels like it all came together because everything was foreshadowed pretty well.
I think the whole dinner stuff and like the creepy family is cool, and I will say it didn't feel like a bullshit twist because they had the scene with the creepy hitchhiker and shit, and like enough hint.
Yeah, exactly.
They had enough hints.
All characters were established up to this point, except for the grandfather.
They had enough hints that it didn't feel out of nowhere like that. I think it was such a tone shift. It was like,
really?
To me at least, it went from silly.
Yeah,
it went from silly
what you mean.
slasher movie to suddenly messed up psychological family. It's like, it was such a hard right to not something bad, but it just totally threw me off how different it was all of a sudden.
Okay, I mean, I
think it threw me off just because it felt like there was a certain VHS we watched, the game show one, where it was like two good ideas of 99. A fucked up game show and fucked up family, but the way they combined it just didn't mesh right.
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually. We could talk
to VHS. We could talk about VHS 90. Okay, anyway, away from VHS, back to Tejas Chainsaw Massacre. Devin, how do you say chainsaw in Spanish?
Don't ask me.
You're Hispanic. What do you mean? Don't ask you.
You're literally not white.
You're only half white, and you grew up with Spanish. Don't ask you.
We don't just say chainsaw.
Devin, what do you mean? Don't ask you. You're the one guy here who can understand Spanish.
Motosierra.
The Tejas Luciana Massacre. There we go.
Motosierra. Yes.
You can never tell which one of us is a white guy. It's a real mystery.
I wonder which one of us is white. I mean, two of you are white. We're
all
Devin and I are half white. You're full white.
Hold on. Okay, wait. So here's gas-powered chainsaw. It's La Sierra de Candina.
De Candina?
There's a different word for electric chainsaw?
Well, no, that's gas-powered, and I guess the other one is just chainsaw.
What?
But it depends on the context. It depends on the context.
Specification.
I don't even think you need a chainsaw for that. No creo que ni siquiera ni siete un sierra para eso.
Okay. I'm gonna pretend I know what the fuck
Which
you just
that's
said.
Yeah. I said it at the beginning. I said I don't think you even need a chainsaw for that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that just a translation?
That's just one of them, I guess. Yeah, that was one of them.
Is that such a common Spanish?
Wait, this one's kind of funny. Already, guys? Why do we need a chainsaw for a slumber party? ¿Por qué nacimientos una motosierra para una fiesta de pijamas?
Was this Leatherface's like friends in elementary school?
Leatherface's friends wrote this in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, Leatherface's friends were like, "Why the fuck do we need a chainsaw for a slumber party, bro?"
Is this what Miles' mom is saying in Spider-Verse?
That's what she's been saying this whole time.
She's not calling Gwen a dumb white girl. She's saying chainsaw words.
When we watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and the subtitles
You're not living up to the legend. Speaks in Spanish. God, anything.
Dude, actually, wait. That's something we haven't talked about yet. Before we get on to the last part of the movie, we watched this on Shudder. I mean, obviously,
the captions
but
are weird.
Dude, Shudder is such a good fucking streaming service. Actually,
shout out to
like
Shudder.
Low-key.
Yeah.
It costs $50. $50 for like the whole fucking year. It is so worth it. There's so many banger movies on it. Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, whatever AI they used to generate the subtitles is kind of fucked up.
There was like an ampersand symbol after like half the sentences.
Yeah. There was some glitch in the Matrix that meant like instead of a space, it would put the and symbol. So it would just like randomly just be an and symbol just glowing. Yeah, but the one that we noticed first was in the very beginning of the movie when there's just like radio, like some radio playing in the background talking about like fuck shit happening across the world. It talked about like something happening in Louisiana, but in fact what the subtitles had spelled was Louisiana.
Oh yeah, they spelled Louisiana wrong.
Oh, Louisiana.
It was Luisiana. Louisiana.
How do you even say that?
Louisiana, my friend. Louisiana.
That does sound Italian as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Like, no other fucking movie word was like spelled wrong or anything. It was just like the ampersand shit that happened.
It was so strange.
I don't know why Louisiana.
I don't know why it fucked up there. Yeah.
I don't know if that was AI for a person, but I don't know how a person makes that mistake.
Yeah, the AI was just like Louisiana is not a real fucking state.
That ain't a real state. I don't believe in it.
I'll be long in the cold, dead ground before I accept Louisiana. Yeah, okay, so anyway.
We'll get back to it. So they're having a family
scene.
dinner, and so this is the part that I think that people probably dislike the most out of the entire movie. And I can see why.
Or love the most out of the entire movie.
Or love the most, yeah. It's hit or miss, honestly. Mm-hmm. And it's just the final girl screaming at whatever they're doing at every moment. She's going insane. So she's screaming. There's close-ups of her face a lot.
I didn't hate the close-ups. The close-ups got old. They just kept doing close-ups on the face. They kept the face, like, it got old.
Yeah, they like zoom in on her face, and then they get like really, really close to her eye because she's
and,
like
the first time it was
insane.
fine, and I got what they were going for, and then they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. It's like, I get it.
And basically, they're just being dicks. Well, before we get to that, they're just like antagonizing her. They're just like screaming in her face and poking her and being dicks. And also, Niall, do you remember what you said when we first started watching this scene a few days ago? Because I remember.
What did I say?
You said that Resident Evil did it better.
I think they did.
Yeah.
He's like, watching this movie.
I'm not weighing in on this topic because I haven't played Resident Evil.
I can see what inspired Resident Evil 7. It was this movie.
Yeah, the inspiration is definitely there.
Not even just that scene, like creepy shit in the woods and shit as you like explore further. The way they did the family as characters and stuff, like, it had to have been.
Well, yeah. That's the thing, though, is that I feel like Resident Evil 7, comparing to that, is Texas Chainsaw's the blueprint.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't hate it. Because I was like, this is a cool idea. I think Resident Evil just nailed it a little better.
That's the thing, though, is that they have foresight to do that.
Resident Evil was made how many? 3, 4, 5
40
decades?
years later? Yeah, like 40
later.
Years?
No, it'd be
around 40.
More than 40. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm talking about 7 because that was the one to bring the horror back, which I love Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, good game.
Dude, I am not the person to ask about the quality of like the horror part of horror, which sounds really weird since I love horror movies so much, but like I just do not get scared of horror movies.
No, honestly,
I think you're desensitized. This is the difference.
I'm just so empty inside that the most fucked shit doesn't even make me blink.
But yeah, when it came to Resident Evil 7, I think they took the idea and just kind of refined it.
Yeah, I could agree with that, yeah.
I think part of why I was a little thrown off was showing what I assumed to be what I thought was the dad, like, whack him because of the door and shit, or like any like problem he had. It took away any intimidation I had of Leatherface.
I don't agree with that.
The thing about Leatherface is he's not Michael Myers. He's not Jason.
No.
His thing
is
like...
I think that one's on me for expecting him to be like that.
I mean, I can, like, just culturally, I can totally see why. Just that's sort of,
That's what he became over the years.
It's definitely Jason's fault, pretty much, I think.
Damn it,
but
Jason!
Sort of, like, the idea of Leatherface is like afraid of the outside world, and he's abused by his family. He does what he does because he's afraid of the outside world. He's afraid of his family beating him. That's like his whole thing. But just culturally, since Jason Voorhees, I'm really putting this on my main man Jason, but like that's kind of thing. Like he's one of the most famous, influential slasher villains of all time. So sort of the basic idea of what a slasher villain is this like unstoppable hulking
so it kind of
rage monster.
Your opinion going into slasher movies.
Exactly. Like I can see like going back and watching the slasher movies from sort of like before Michael Myers, and being like, I smell bitch in here.
Part of me was like, I was expecting him to be a lot more intimidating, and I think he started really intimidating. And they had some interesting scenes, but I think part of it, I wish they put a little more of like him being scared shitless of what happens when the rest of the family gets back. Because other than the one scene of him being oh, after like the third person, that was it. I think maybe more that shows he's honestly scared shitless right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be entirely fair, the entire budget of the movie was like a fistful of Monopoly money and a half-eaten bag of money.
I think I would have been okay with it more if there was more setup. And part of me is like, I'm saying that because the movie knows how to do setup. They were good at it. They were really good at the setup for everything else.
Yeah.
That was the only part where it's like, it threw me off a little bit. Like, I didn't hate it. Again, I didn't hate any of it. I liked it. I think Resident Evil 7 just took that concept and was able to refine it more.
It's fair. Yeah. I can't say, because I haven't played a single Resident Evil game.
That is something we should probably do at some point.
We could totally do horror games.
Seven would be probably the one we do.
That would be the one exception when it comes to movies. It's like that game is so good.
We would do Resi 7 or we would do Resi 2 remake.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think the first horror game that I ever played might have been Until Dawn.
Oh shit!
Really? Oh wow.
No, actually, it probably would have been Moirai, which is a real deep cut. Never mind. Okay.
Do not know what that is, but we'll find out.
I can see how this movie was influential because even guys like Pigsy from Manhunt. I wonder what inspired that antagonist.
The entire idea of using like power tools as weapons was Texas Chainsaw. Slasher movies like kind of existed before Texas Chainsaw is not the first.
I'd
really have to dig into the history because what really made slasher movies, what really crystallized it was Halloween in 1979.
Yes.
But there was things before that would like definitely be counted as slasher movies, even though they were like sort of like proto slasher movies.
I would say like Texas Chainsaw elevated it a little bit, like it put it on a pedestal.
Yeah, it got on the map, and then Halloween hit the ball.
Yeah,
I'm saying, but I would maybe say Psycho might be the first slasher.
Could be. When did Friday the 13th #1 come out?
1980. It was a rip-off of Halloween.
Okay. Shit.
Halloween is what made it mainstream, but there was stuff that existed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense.
You know what? Here, next time we do like a slasher movie, I'll dig into the fucking history. Yeah,
all right.
And find out.
I'm cool with that. Do some research on the side. Yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, I definitely just part of me was like the pacing was a little changed, the tone changed, the whole concept changed, and like it didn't change to anything bad. It was just a little like, huh.
Yeah, I'll say that, like, the thing that it did capture really well, though, is, like, the whole point is just, like, it's unfiltered insanity.
And I thought that was well done, like, so good. I felt like I was watching two different movies, almost, with how different those chunks were. That was my issue with it. I don't hate this movie. It just threw me off.
I feel like the rest of the movie makes up for it because the second they get the grandfather in, right? They bring him in.
Dude, the insane dinner. I forgot the armchair.
Grandpappy's really funny because he just like they cut the tip of her finger open and feed it to him, and he's like sucking on. He's like, all up in that shit.
Guys. I know we were talking about like how we can't get into the symbolism, but I'll put a little bit more symbolism in here.
Oh.
Grandpa lost his job at the slaughterhouse because he was the one who killed the cows with the hammer.
Oh.
No, but they replaced him with the bolt gun, right?
Right.
So he lost his job to industrialization, and he was forced, and now he's a bloodsucker. It's a welfare metaphor.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I didn't even catch that. That's subtle.
Wacky. Whoa.
That's like one of 87 different things that happens in this movie.
Wait, that's cool.
I thought I should slip a little bit.
I like that. That's cool.
I should slip a little bit of that in
here. Put a little taste of it,
That's sick as fuck. That adds to it a little bit. I like that.
I'm not generally one to like really like hyper symbolic horror movies, hence my love of Friday the 13th Part 6, but I can appreciate it when it shows up.
If that didn't give it away.
Anyway.
We'll get there. But basically, the rest of the movie plays out, and they're like, oh man, old man was such a good killer. Let's have him kill the girl.
Killer there was. Yeah, but there's a lot more about the cow like symbolism because like the cook in the sequel they reveal his name is Drayton Sawyer, but in this he's just known as the cook. I can't hear
Sawyer without thinking about Tom Sawyer and then Rush.
Yeah, the dad figure, but he's like, I just don't got no stomach for killing. Because it's like
that was the thing that kept throwing me off was the way
I could never kill a cow. But
that was something that kept throwing me off was they kept making it seem like maybe the two younger ones were gonna maybe try to kill the older guy.
Well, they were just like a really antagonistic
rebellious,
family.
but I kept thinking like. How much they kept saying like you don't even get you're not even a real. It's like they kept
you're just a cook.
It really kept making me think really the way she was gonna escape was they were gonna start trying to kill each other.
They kind of did in that way because they gave the hammer to the old man, right? And they're like
she
because
only escaped because Grandpa was the best killer there was. Grandpa was the one.
Because you gotta remember the cook wanted it to finish quick. They wanted to kill her right there, but the two brothers were rebellious and decided to give it to the grandpa. They
wanted to have fun with it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that gave her the opportunity
which I thought it was smart how she managed to get the fuck out of that. But I kept thinking, like, they kept making it feel like one of them was going to try to kill the guy. You know what I mean?
Well, what happened is basically, like, he couldn't hold the hammer, right? And so
because he's
the brother
800,000 years old.
The hitchhiker, the diddler, the diddler was trying to be the top dog.
Yeah.
So
I kept thinking the diddler was going to kill
for the hammer.
Was his dad.
Well, yeah, that was probably what was going to happen if it played out.
Yeah, which I kind of wish it played out like that. I think that was another thing that I liked about Resident Evil 7 was the dad. They showed why he's in charge when they make him chop the son's arm off in the dinner scene.
Well, you gotta remember, Resident Evil has a lot more body horror and a lot more shit they could get away with. This is a much more grounded story where basically if he chooses to rebel against the father character...
reason for me to think hold on. Wouldn't want to overpower him.
Well, hold on. I'm about to get to that. So the thing is that if he shows any sign of rebellion towards the father character, Leatherface could turn on him. And he would be fucked. So he basically has to play like this cat and mouse game with the father character, where he pushes his
Leatherface is scared shitless of the cook because even if he's like canonically the brother or whatever, he's still the father.
Yeah, and he's right. Like, and like they do show him come in and beat him with the broom. But like I think
exactly
things like that. It's like that was helpful. But part of me is thinking like they could fucking kill him if they really wanted to.
Well, yeah, that's the thing though, is that. They can't because they're both like dumb kids compared to him.
I think it was just little things like they are all really, really good ideas. There were just little things I wish were implied a little more in certain aspects and stuff.
I get that.
I think it's more like it didn't feel implied enough. Like I can get behind that idea, but again, something like Resident Evil 7, that relied more on body horror. But like again, like scenes like when you're tied to the chair with the whole family. And one of the first things you see is, like, the son act out, and this dad comes up to him with a fucking butcher knife, grabs his arm, and chops it right off. Like, it shows, that he's in charge and that they listen to him.
Well, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, that was another thing I think Resident Evil nailed
establishes... Well, that's what I'm saying, is that the cook establishes it in a different way. Yeah. He's the brains. Yeah. He's the mastermind behind everything,
I just wish there was a little more that showed... why they aren't willing to try to really, like, other than bitch about it, like, really try anything.
Because they're family.
They're family.
And the saw is family. That's a little bit of a spoiler.
Together.
Well, I mean, and then even at the chase sequence at the end as well, by the way,
was really well
they show why. Yeah, because, like, she gets out, right? She runs out the door.
Because... Okay, wait, Devin.
Whole chase.
Devin, all right, so they give Grandpa the mallet because Grandpa's the best killer. Yes. They want Grandpa to kill her. Grandpa is a geriatric fuck. He can't do it. She slips out of the hitchhiker's grip and she jumps through another window.
Yes.
And she starts running, and this starts like the last tiny bit of the movie. The hitchhiker and Leatherface run after her. The hitchhiker just kind of grabs her and like slashes her up a bit with his like little straight razor.
Yeah, because she's fucked up at this point. She's got a concussion. Yeah. She can't run straight.
Leatherface is
and
like
so
trying
he catches
to
up to her really easy.
But the hitchhiker is having fun with it. He's trying to like draw this out.
He's toying with her.
Yeah.
And so they draw it out to the point where she reaches the main road. She tries to like get help, and there's a semi truck coming. And the semi-truck plows through the diddler. The diddler's dead.
Cooler runs him over. Whoops.
Absolutely
annihilates. He gets hit by 3 of those big-ass tires. He gets
basically cut in half by the damn tires. Fuck.
Yes. And so...
Yeah, and the fucking truck driver's like, what the fuck is happening? He stops and hops out.
Yep, and then she's like, help me. And then Leatherface comes out and he's like, roar, chainsaw.
Yeah, and then after some running around, she jumps in like a pickup truck.
A pickup truck drives by because this is like a big main road. She jumps in. I don't know what happened to the driver.
I hope he kept on running. He did not give a fuck.
He just ran off.
He's just running. He's fucking
she
gone,
gets in the truck,
bro.
and then
he left.
As the truck's leaving, she starts like laughing maniacally. And then
because she went
which I like that. But then we get to the last
and Leatherface. And Leatherface does his chainsaw dance.
Which is Leatherface like swinging
his chainsaw dance.
Looked a little too silly.
Dude, Don't you dare diss.
I'm dissing it. It
comments,
I was okay.
Get him.
No,
Comments,
Devin.
get him.
Devin. No. I was okay with you not liking the movie generally, but you dare shit talk Gunnar Hansen's chainsaw dance. I'll kill you in real life.
It looks a little silly to me.
I'll kill you. I am rapidly approaching your current location.
We always said Seth would be the serial killer if I could talk.
If all of us were in a horror movie, Niall would be the final girl and I would be the serial killer.
Like, I thought it was a good idea. It's another one I thought was a good idea. It was just a little
I mean, something about you have to sort of take in mind with older.
Yeah, that was
one
where I thought this is an older movie. It gets away with it.
There's a very real possibility that this is the first time that shit like that had been done.
So I can forgive.
And I don't know if I could say that for sure with Texas Chainsaw. I'd have to actually look into film history, which, I mean, I do enjoy looking into the history of horror films. That is something that's very interesting.
Have to do a whole special one day, the history of slasher movies.
Oh, dude, I once actually did research the history of found footage films, so I know a little bit about that.
Hell yeah, dude.
But so
that was a scene I could really forgive.
Yeah, whenever you're watching an older movie and you're like, damn, this story that came out 50 years later did it better. It's they had this original to look at and improve on.
It's not fully fair of me to really critique it with the standards we have now, because this was still the experimental phase of just trying shit.
It's one of the most famous indie films of all time,
it was just trying new things that hadn't really been explored yet in movies. Right. So and it was already in the 70s, and already the whole standard of movies at the time was different. So I can't really say it's a bad movie or I don't like
74,
it. I can say I don't like it, but I'm not gonna say I hate it, because it's a product of the time.
There are movies that you can dislike as a viewing experience, but you can appreciate their place.
That's where I'm at with this movie. Where I'm at with this movie with my hot take. Is I appreciate the movie, and I'm glad it exists because it inspired some amazing shit. It's just definitely okay to me.
Yeah, actually, let's just go each of us one by one and get just a sort of general.
Would you guys rate this movie out of 10?
Okay. I am going to
doing that.
I was gonna say let's do out of 5. Let's do out of 5.
That's hard. Okay.
Well, yeah, just so we can be a little more vague.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I will give my honest opinion. I think this movie is a solid 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good, but my main issue with it is I feel like there's some scenes where it just kind of goes on for too long.
It drags a bit.
It's a short movie, but it feels like it drags a little.
It does.
That's the thing.
It was really short, but definitely.
But besides that, no, this is a good movie. This is a very good movie.
I like that. What about you, Seth?
I guess a 4 out of 5 would be pretty accurate. Part of me wants to get it's a 3.5 or whatever.
I was thinking 3.5 as well.
Let's just take the 4. We're not gonna do points.
I rounded up.
This is hard.
If we do points, it's no different than an out of 10.
I'm a little stuck between.
But I'll keep talking for a little bit while you think.
We'll just keep talking. All right, so Seth, how do you wipe? I'm just kidding.
No, but
I'm stuck between a 3 and a 4.
All right, well,
really?
Niall, how I look at this movie is that since a lot of people think this is one of the scariest horror movies of all time, which is obviously subjective. But
I can't say
that was Massacre. This is not a scary movie.
Yeah, but no. But as a horror fan who just doesn't get horror-fied, when I go into a horror movie, I look for more than it just being scary.
Yeah.
And while Texas Chainsaw does have that, it's really sort of hinging on the fact that you're disturbed
by
it, even though ultimately it's not actually. it's very psychological. It's not actually
it's directly scary.
Very
at times,
famously,
but it's more you're thinking about how twisted it is what you're seeing.
Yeah, but very, very famously, at least with horror fans, it's not actually a very gory movie. If you think about it. So there's that factor, but since I'm not that shit doesn't really affect me, I'm I couldn't fucking care less that fucking Susie shit her pants watching this movie, right?
Right,
I don't know what to say.
Sorry, Susie.
So it's a good movie. It was very important for the horror genre. But I like the second one better.
That is something we'll have to judge for ourselves later on.
It's so hard for me to be mean about it with how influential it was.
I have to show you guys the second one.
That's what I was wondering. You said you didn't like it, but you're still giving it a 4?
Well, I'm thinking more 3. There's one big factor with what Seth said is I'm such a fucking pansy with horror, and I wasn't scared.
Yeah, it wasn't scary.
I
it was disturbing.
I think that's the defining factor here was... Even I am such a fucking baby. I played going back to this, I played Garden of Bam Bam Chapter 1 and I got scared. And I got freaked out by the chicken.
My favorite shit, it was when all three of us are playing a horror game, either together or someone's streaming it. And Niall is pissing and
before
shitting
anything
the entire
happened.
time.
Before anything got scared, and I'm I don't want to do this.
And I am just fucking stone-faced, no reaction.
I am directly in the middle. I'll get jump scared, but I won't be scared.
I think that's what puts it to a 3 to me was, I was hoping it would be at least a little scary.
I mean,
other than concept.
I think it could be. Yeah, I was gonna say the premise is very
other than the
scary
premise, but
it's kind of real.
I guess, but
to
me,
it's
very
grounded.
Doesn't match. It doesn't always mean everything. Like what? I got scared watching Invincible. That's not a horror, but I was still scared shitless whenever a certain someone showed up on screen.
I would argue it has horror elements, but I'll save that talk for a different day.
I think it's at a 3,
fair enough.
Just because I think I like everything it had to do, but I think it's just definitely a product of its time and just not for me in that aspect.
Okay, I can see that. That's
I'm
fair.
at a 3.
I mean, we read some Shudder reviews as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, after
most
we
of them
the movie.
were this is a masterpiece.
They're not good. Yeah.
The fucking Shudder. A lot of them are.
I think it's really good. I ain't gonna say it's a masterpiece.
Ultimate classic masterpiece. One of the. It was the 1-2 on Shudder. There's skulls instead of stars.
Which is kind of cool.
As cheesy as that is, I fucking
I kind of like that.
But
I'm at a 3.
It was It was pretty much what we were saying. It was I appreciate this as a piece of horror culture, but I didn't enjoy it. I mean, they gave it a 2, which is lower than any of us rated it ultimately, but it was the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's a 2.
It was the same sentiment.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm sticking with my vote of 3.
I mean, when compared to other movies from the cannibal boom, which here's a little other horror history for you, is the 70s was an era of horror called the cannibal boom, because especially from fucking Italy,
you're right,
for some reason, there was a bunch of movies about cannibals.
Yeah, that was
and obviously Leatherface and his family are cannibals, but most of those movies are a group of people going to South America and getting attacked by cannibals.
Yeah, it's very real being in the United States and being cannibalism and all that.
I mean, to be fair, also there was The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes, that's true. That did come out,
God, we gotta watch The Hills Have Eyes with Niall.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. We gotta hit that next. Not next, but we'll eventually get it.
We'll get to it.
I don't think we should. Let's not front load our cannibal movies. But as part of the cannibal boom, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, cannibal boom.
I agree,
movie, because a lot of the cannibal boom movies are shit.
No, The Hills Have Eyes is a good movie.
I love The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, but definitely most of it was.
But I don't know if I call it the end of the cannibal boom, but part of the cannibal boom is Cannibal Holocaust.
Fuck.
No, we're never touching that. We're not touching that.
I don't care what people say.
Here, I can talk about Cannibal Holocaust because I actually did watch it because part of my role in the friend group is working in the salt mine.
No, but that is what I have also seen, and I did not like it.
It's fucking
not even a good movie.
Yeah, here.
Why?
No. Let's
not even give it the light of day.
No.
Like, fuck this movie.
No, Devin, I got this, Devin. It's the
right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, lowercase letters, Cannibal Holocaust sucks. It's a movie where the director claimed it was about, like, oh, it's a message about how everyone just likes shock culture, blah, blah, blah. And it's like fucking Kenobi telling Anakin, you've become the very thing you were supposed to destroy. That's all it is.
Not join
That's
them.
all it is.
Supposed to destroy it, not to do it. Fuck.
I got a lecture
Cannibal
from Devin
Holocaust.
about that
Yeah, but no, dude. Cannibal Holocaust is all shock, no value.
Yep.
There's literally, all right, like, here's a little, I guess, a trigger warning for.
Maybe we'll put this at the beginning.
I'm just gonna say trigger warning.
I think honestly, it's
Look, I'm not gonna get into that part of it.
No, I would leave that out.
There's 4 scenes which you shouldn't put in almost any story. There's actual animals that they kill on camera.
Yes, yeah.
It's just fucking shit. It's mostly boring, punctuated by 2 people fucking on the bones of the villagers that they burned alive. Like, it's actually just the most edgelord shit.
It's one of the
terrible.
few movies where normally with a bad movie, I can say, there's something to learn from it watching. Don't watch it. Don't bother. Don't waste your time.
Dude, no.
If you want to watch bad movies, watch fucking The Shadow Man.
No, dude. Let's not talk about that. No, I watched a movie called Guinea Pig, which is just 45 minutes of people making a fake snuff film. It's just like a woman getting tortured for 45 minutes. It's shit. I would recommend that one over Cannibal Holocaust in a blink, even though that's also
but
shit.
At least that one you can make fun of and have fun watching it that way. Like, it's the one movie... Cannibal Holocaust is the one movie where I can say... Don't bother. Just don't fucking bother. I don't know what... we went on a whole tangent. Fuck.
Yeah. Here's the pod/cast hot take.
This is not
of the
a
day.
hot take.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is better
That
than
is not a hot take.
Yeah, such a hot take. Such a hot take.
Oh my
Here's
god,
our-
Stevie, that's the
here's
coldest
our
take you've ever said in your life.
Yeah, here's our liquid nitrogen Mr. Freeze take. How's that?
Our liquid nitrogen take.
Here's our Ice Age 3 Continental Drift take.
It's not even the third one. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, we're drifting, and we've gotten to the end of this movie at this point.
My girlfriend was watching. My girlfriend was watching all the Ice Ages today, and she found out that the third one, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, isn't on Disney Plus, and she was mad, and I was also mad.
That's
As a dinosaur
one.
fan, that's my favorite one.
The good one.
Yeah, I like Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Yeah, that one's a good
It's
one.
the one with the dinosaurs, and they like go underground to like the
Yeah.
center of the earth where there's like the
Yeah, I
jungle.
remember that one.
I love how we went.
All right,
we went from
anyway,
Cannibal
now that we-
Holocaust to fucking Ice Age.
3.
The duality of man.
That's just what happens on the pod/cast. Am I right, boys?
This is why we don't
boys.
like the scripting.
All right, our big topics this episode were not wiping towards your balls, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ice Age, and Cannibal Holocaust.
I feel like that was a pretty good
so-
first episode. But basically, everybody,
yeah.
I say our average score was about like a 3.8, right? With all of us.
I would have to check 2 4s and a 3.
On average, it was 4.
Okay.
Average score was 4. I'm the outlier.
The mode was 4.
exactly. The mode- that's
Yeah,
what
we'll
the
go
mode
with
is
we'll
for.
go with
Got 'em.
4. We'll go with 4.
We'll go
Okay.
with 4.
So basically, should you watch it?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, you know the name. It's good.
You
I
know
just
the
like
name.
couldn't say it there. You know the name.
It's good. If you don't like, if there's like a certain point in which like older movies really lose it for you, you'll probably sort of end
Yeah.
up on the Niall end of things.
You'll probably fall
But
off a little
generally,
bit, yeah.
it's a really important part of film history.
Yes.
It's an extremely important part of horror history. There's a reason that it's like preserved in like the Federal Art Preserve or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yes.
You know,
The film archive.
yeah. So like, I mean, I guess if you're listening to this, then you like horror movies. So yes, watch it. How's
Yes.
that?
If you haven't seen it, if you somehow
Assuming
haven't
you
seen
haven't.
it,
Yeah,
I was
and
gonna say.
if you're like me and haven't seen
Watch
this,
it.
end take. If you're a fan of horror, you'll probably get something out of this movie. You'll at least get the
exactly. You'll
appreciation
get
of
something.
what it did for horror.
And you know what I would also recommend? Watch it with some friends. It's so much better watching it with friends. It's a good party movie, all that. You sit around, turn the lights off, get some popcorn.
Exactly.
You know, just sit there And it's
you sit around, you get some barbecue from your gas station.
Yeah, you get some weird like human meat, you put it on the side.
Gas station manager.
Yeah, you get your granddad. You cut the tip of your finger, give your granddad a little sip, all that.
After you come back from your barbecue and Coca-Cola gas station.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. You gotta do that first.
All right,
everybody.
All right, first episode. How the fuck are we doing an outro?
I got you. Ready? It's been a good one, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out, everybody.
I'm in your walls. Bye. And now, just for a little segment of some assorted, edited out bloopers with no context.
All right, so
are you a standing wiper or a sitting wiper?
Front to back. Yeah, you standing wiper. I found out that people apparently reach
that's why
under
I
their
stand up when I
balls
do it, because I'm not a fucking
that.
barbarian. I definitely don't wipe toward my balls, I'll tell you that for free.
Easy. Yeah, nah, I don't want shit on my fucking balls, that's for sure.
Is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's a crime in some countries.
You are going to jail for the crime of having shit balls.
You are going to jail for wiping your balls the wrong way.
But yeah, apparently people fucking do that. That's weird shit. Podcast. I was gonna say, yeah, this should be like the opening, and then we'll do the intro.
Like, I feel like if you wipe towards your balls, it's a crime in some countries.
That's a crime in some countries.
Welcome to Pod/Cast. We watch horror.
Welcome to Pod/Cast, where we wipe our balls the right way.
We wipe away from our balls. Niall, do you wipe towards your balls or away from your balls?
Yeah.
What the fuck did you just ask me? What?